Vikings, let's win this game.
Attention Vikings fans. The atmosphere in Minnesota is heating up. There's a behind-the-scenes decision about a running back Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is tempted to bring in, plus a bold market move involving one of the team's offensive tackles. On top of that, just a small detail is standing in the way of a deal to bring another star to the Vikings. Who's going to win this tug of war? And everything about the battle of a young returner who's giving it all to secure his spot on the final 53-man roster. All that and more you're going to hear right now. Welcome. Support this Vikings community with a like and a comment. When people talk about temptation, they usually think of something irresistible, and that seems to be exactly the dilemma facing Kwesi Adofo-Mensah right now. To resist or not to resist bringing back an old acquaintance named Cam Akers. Yes, the running back was released by the Saints, he's free on the market, and he already has history in Minnesota. So the question nags at the back of the mind. Does it make sense to bring Akers back to strengthen an offense that desperately needs to support our rookie J.J. McCarthy? Kwesi's reasoning so far has been clear. Protect the kid and give him every tool possible to adjust quickly to the NFL. The first big move was keeping Aaron Jones, a veteran who's proven he can carry the load and still teach the newcomers a thing or two. Then came Jordan Mason, a solid addition to split snaps and provide consistency. And let's not forget Xavier Scott, who flashed some exciting moments in the preseason, especially catching passes. On paper, it looks like we've got a reliable trio to run the ball. But is there still one piece missing? Cam Akers is only 26 years old, already survived major injuries including a torn Achilles and still managed to produce. Wearing the Vikings jersey last season, he averaged 4.6 yards per carry in 12 games. Not bad for a guy many had written off. Plus, he contributed in the passing game with some clutch receptions. We're talking about a resilient player, someone who doesn't give up easily and who knows Kevin O'Connell from their Rams days when they even won a Super Bowl together. The cost? Practically nothing. Around $1 million. In other words, it wouldn't be a risky investment that wrecks the cap. It would be more of a depth move, an insurance policy for a position group we all know is vital to taking pressure off McCarthy. But of course, that could mean moving on from a younger player, and that's where the decision gets tough. Is it better to give the kids more reps or bet on the experience of someone who's already proven he can produce? And while fans debate Akers' possible return, the question lingers. Will Kwesi give in to temptation or stick with the trio he already has? You know those moments when a team puts all the cards on the table for everyone to see? That's exactly what Kwesi Adofo-Mensah just did by putting Leroy Watson's name on the league's radar. No quiet whispers in the back channels, no secret negotiations. The news went straight to Tom Pelissero, one of the most respected insiders in the NFL. In other words, the Vikings basically put up a billboard saying, "Want this player? Send a late pick, and he's yours before he hits waivers." It's a smart move, and here's why. The tackle room is already packed. We've got Christian Darrisaw evolving into one of the best in the league, Brian O'Neill solid as a rock, plus Justin Skule and Walter Rouse filling out the rotation. That's a strong group that keeps J.J. McCarthy from running for his life every snap. In that context, there's just no space for Leroy Watson, no matter how hard he's worked this preseason. And to be fair, Watson isn't a disaster. Far from it. The guy is 27 years old, stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighs 311 pounds, and has already bounced around the league. He even put together some decent preseason snaps with a respectable PFF grade. But in Minnesota, he's become a luxury piece. This roster doesn't have room to stash a 4th or 5th tackle while other positions need depth. That's where Kwesi's cleverness shows. Instead of cutting the player and watching him sign elsewhere for nothing, why not squeeze a late-round pick out of a team in need? After all, it's happened before. Last year, Watson was traded for a 7th rounder. Why not repeat the trick? For a team desperate for offensive line depth, it's a cheap and quick deal. The real question is, will anyone bite? If yes, the Vikings turn a disposable piece into an asset. If not, at least they've shown they're not afraid to play the game aggressively. And that, folks, tells you a lot about how this front office operates. The next headline is the one that's had fans buzzing all week. Some stories in football just hit different for a fan base. And when it comes to Adam Thielen, Vikings fans' hearts beat faster. The wide receiver who grew up in Minnesota, shined at US Bank Stadium, and became a franchise legend, is now caught in a complicated negotiation involving money, draft picks, and even personal sacrifices to make a reunion possible. According to Bill Barnwell from ESPN, the deal with the Panthers would require serious concessions. Carolina would need to eat $1.5 million of the contract, while Thielen would have to give up $1 million of his salary to make the return possible. Meanwhile, the Vikings would need to send part of the draft picks they got from trading Harrison Phillips to the Jets. It's a financial chess match where each side has to give something up to make the fans' dream come true. But this goes way beyond numbers. We're talking about a player who not only understands the franchise culture, but already speaks about J.J. McCarthy as if they're teammates. Back in June, Thielen said he believes the kid has the potential to be the face of the league. Strong words from someone who's been through battles and knows how to spot talent. It almost feels like he sensed this reunion was coming. And let's be real, the Vikings desperately need help at wide receiver. With Jordan Addison suspended early in the season and Rondale Moore out for the year, the pressure falls entirely on Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hockenson. Bringing Thielen back wouldn't just be nostalgia. It would be a strategic move to stabilize the offense and give the rookie quarterback more weapons. The question is it worth the price? Thielen is 34 years old, and while his experience is undeniable, age is catching up. He's not the explosive playmaker he once was, but he can still be that reliable third-down target, the mentor Addison needs, and the emotional spark that re-energizes the fan base. And that's the conflict keeping this story alive. The reunion feels natural, but the cost might block the move. So Vikings fans, will Kwesi Adofo-Mensah pull the trigger and bring the hometown hero back? Meanwhile, another player is counting down the hours until the roster cuts are official. If there's one brutal moment in the NFL, it's the end of the preseason, when players fight for every inch of a roster spot. And in the middle of that battle, one name has been echoing louder among Vikings fans: Myles Price. The undrafted wide receiver may be small in size, but he's already proven he's got the heart and explosiveness to earn a place on the final 53-man roster. With Rondale Moore sidelined for the season and Jordan Addison suspended early on, the receiver room has become a question mark. That's where Price seized the opportunity, literally running for his chance. Against the Patriots, he nearly lit up the stadium with an 81-yard kickoff return. He also flashed on punt returns, racking up solid yardage in limited chances. Against the Titans, he broke another long run that only disappeared from the stat sheet because of a penalty. The numbers don't lie. According to PFF, Price was the second-best returner of the entire preseason, graded at 79.9. And he didn't stop at special teams. Against the Texans, he hauled in a 15-yard pass from Max Brosmer in a crucial moment and was rewarded with a touchdown on that same drive. He's versatile, adds value on offense and special teams, and all of that on a cheap contract. Exactly the kind of edge teams look for when adjusting the cap. Sure, there are risks. He had a near muff on a return that almost slipped away, and that inconsistency raises concerns. Plus, his size, 5 feet 8 inches tall, 180 pounds, could limit his impact as a traditional wide receiver. But even with those issues, his energy stands out. Special teams coordinator Matt Daniels said, "He's the first one out here, last one to leave, loves football, always putting in extra work." That's the kind of mentality that wins over coaches and teammates. Fans are already asking, are we witnessing the rise of a new UDFA gem who can change games as a returner and maybe even contribute on offense? The truth is, Price brings something the Vikings haven't had in nearly a decade, a real punt return threat. And in a roster full of question marks, betting on his speed and fearlessness might be the difference maker. Vikings fans, after everything we went through today, you can feel that the fate of this team is being written with each decision. The temptation of bringing back Cam Akers, the bold play with Leroy Watson, the emotional saga of Adam Thielen, and the inspiring fight of Myles Price all show how nothing in this league comes easy. Every move can define the season, and we're here to live it all together. Now it's your turn, Vikings fans. Drop a comment, share this video, and hit that subscribe button for all the latest Vikings updates. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go.